We are live. We are live. Sergeant Horror here for Bad Monster with Janie Slash. How are things going today, Janie?
They're going great. How are things going with you?
It is going good. Sitting out here, hanging out. It is what it is. I was excited tonight to talk about this topic about America's most haunted places because, in case people don't know, Janie has some experience investigating the paranormal.
Yeah, I'm a ghost babe. I go paranormal investigating for fun for a YouTube channel I have. And you are a paranormal investigator yourself as well.
Yeah, I do. I dibble dabble a little bit.
You've been to some iconic places.
Some crazy places. I mean, with some crazy people. We got to get together and go ghost hunting.
Yeah, we do. We totally do. So, out of all the places you've been to, what was your favorite? It's hard.
It's hard. I'll put it like this. And everybody watching, thank you guys for joining. I want you to comment. One, do you believe in ghosts or do you think it's malarkey? And two, if you do, what's the most haunted place that you've ever been to? Like I said, be sure to like the video, share it up to your friends, text them and be like, y'all watch these crazy folks and subscribe to the channel because we got all kinds of stuff going on. But I used to sit down there and Brendan's like, what's her YouTube? I'd love to check her out. It's right here. This is her YouTube. We go have all kinds of stuff going on. This is where it's at. But I sat down there and watched Ghost Adventures. Yeah. And I liked like the first 3 seasons when it was just them going out doing it. Yeah. And I was like, I wonder if this is just like that big fat Hollywood production stuff and they're making it up or is it real? So I figured and this is 3 years ago. So I was like, the only way to really know if the paranormal is real or not real is to go to a haunted location. So I'm located in North Carolina, as everybody knows, out in the middle of nowhere. And we have haunted places here, but I wanted to go somewhere that I saw was haunted on TV, and I wanted to get the equipment that I saw them using on TV. So I got me one of them Ovuluses, one of them spirit boxes, and one of them K2 mail meters. And
those K2s are great. For the Ovulus.
Airplane and went out there to Nevada to Vegas. And then I took a 4-hour car ride up to Tonopah, Nevada. I'll start out with this. I stayed 3 days at the Clown Motel in Tonopah, Nevada.
Yeah.
And that is a very active haunted site. It's a clown-themed motel right there in this little small town in the middle of a very small town in Nevada, old mining country. And right beside it is like this whole graveyard. And I'll never forget. And if you guys want to watch it, it's on the YouTube channel here. Just go down and look inside the haunted clown motel. I have that Ovulus, and I set it down, and I said, I'm going to do like the Zach Bagans do and communicate with the other side. I said, is there anything out here that wants to communicate with me? And that Ovulus said no.
Oh. Do you take the polite approach? Are you the more respectful type of paranormal investigator, or are you the more aggressive type?
It depends on the location.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, you have to, like I'll give you an example. If you go somewhere like Moundsville, you got to be a little more upbeat. I mean, because it's a prison.
Yeah.
the spirits are probably the inmates that were in the prison. They're probably some pretty tough old fellers. Mm-hmm. So you want to address them as such. I want to address the whatever's there like I would if it was living, because the whole goal is to get it to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Storm says, hell yeah, I believe in ghosts. Welcome, Storm Watchman.
Hi, Storm Watchman. I know that person.
And Ryan said, hey, Sarge and Janie. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan.
And what about you? What's the most haunted place you've been to?
The most haunted. Okay, so I've been to quite a few. Let me think. The one that I had the most activity in was the Hill House, and the Hill House is located in Mineral Wells, Texas. It's one of the most haunted locations in the U.S. It's become very popular, like a hotspot for a lot of paranormal teams to investigate. It's popped up on a lot of very popular shows. And I spent Devil's Night there, and it was horrifying. We got a lot of activity through the spirit box, very heavily, very loudly distorted voices, like sound like they were chanting something in Latin. And that one I was like, okay, can we turn the box off now? Because it's kind of freaking me out. We also had one that was in like a medical doctor's room that was describing horrible things that it's going to do to my paranormal investigator partner, Matilda, talking about like ripping her open and all these awful things. And we even had a door open by itself, like a little crawl space door we caught on camera opening all by itself, like completely unassisted. There's no wind because it was to the attic, which is a crawl space, and there was nothing up there. There was no wind, nothing. Even when it opened, we could see the tablecloth didn't move at all that was on the little table in the kids' room. And apparently that's a very common thing. That door just opens. Yeah.
Now, what happened at this place? I'm not familiar with it. I've never actually been to Texas.
So it is supposedly haunted by demons. I don't remember the exact amount, but apparently a lot of satanic activity happened in the 90s in there. So they've locked and bound demons to certain parts of the house. They even uncovered a bathroom where somebody had shot themselves in the face and they had brain matter still on the walls. They found bones on the property site. The owners are very open to talking about all the history of the house, and they host a lot of investigations. We did a ladies' night there, where they opened up the house for different types of investigation. There's been shadow people seen on site, just a lot of things. It's a very crazy, chaotic, dark home. There's just a lot of really negative energy there.
Now,
and it sits in the shadows of the Baker Motel, which I don't know if you're familiar with the Baker Motel, but that's infamous. And they're currently working on putting it back together and getting it restored to reopen.
Now, the one place that got me that I wanted to go in, but the owner had a medical emergency and his family wouldn't allow anybody to go in, was the Goldfield Hotel. I got to that's right, probably about 30 miles south of the Clown Motel.
Okay, I've never heard of that one.
It's a portal to hell. And basically how Zach Bagans got his TV show is they did a documentary called Ghost Adventures. And he went to that hotel and a ghost threw a brick at him, and they got it on camera.
Did he try to fight the ghost back?
No, he jumped out the window and ran like a little girl.
Oh, he should have been more confrontational.
Now, he wasn't as confrontational in those days, and that's probably why it's hard to find a copy of that documentary, but it is.
Probably like, nobody needs to see me running from a ghost. Come on, Zach Bagans, fight the ghost.
I mean, what would you do if a ghost threw a brick at you, though?
I would be like, wait a minute. Absolutely not. This is uncalled for. I haven't done anything to deserve being a brick thrown at me.
Now, have you ever had anything thrown at you?
I've never had anything thrown at me. I have been touched. So when we were at the Hill House, we had the REM pods. A lot of people use the REM pods to sensor for set off to ghosts. They use it to communicate and also for ghosts to sense they're there. You have all different types of things. People even use like the little kitten balls that light up for ghosts to communicate. My favorite is the flashlight. The flashlight seems to be the most foolproof, best way for communication, easiest to communicate with ghosts, other than the spirit box, which is super spooky and fun. But so the REM pods were going off crazy. We had our Connect Cam, which is the Xbox. We talked about the SLS Kinect Cam, which is made from the Kinect technology, to where you can pick up stick figures. And I had 2 stick figures walking towards me, and we were picking them up on the Kinect Cam. And Velvet, my paranormal partner, she noticed it coming in, and we have it on camera of them walking towards me. And she said, "Oh no, don't you touch her!" And right as she said that, I had something sucker punch me in the gut. And she saw something touch me or hit me in the gut. And at that point, it was like, I don't know what time, like 1 or 2 a.m. And we'd been there since 8 p.m. And I was just like, I'm done. That's it. I'm over it. I'm going downstairs to the kitchen, which is anointed for safety. It was like, you guys can find me there later. I'm going to go drink a Topo Chico. I'm just going to chill out, and we'll come back and do this again in a minute because I'm over this. And I just walked past the REM pod that was blaring. It's just amazing how long you spend in a haunted house where you almost just become like, this is just normal. This is just a thing. But I've never actually seen anything, but I have felt things, and I have heard things. I did have something whisper in my ear at a haunted B&B in Jefferson, Texas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, I had a friend of mine. He's been kind of secretly taking horror icons ghost hunting.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I know Kane Hodder went with them and had an experience in North Carolina in this place that's extremely haunted. It's called Balsam.
I want to go there.
It's an inn in the mountains near Waynesville, North Carolina, and it's an extremely small community. And it's one of those areas where it looks like that the Trail of Tears went through there, where they, massacred the Cherokee Indians. It used to be Cherokee Indian land.
Sadness.
And plus, it used to be a smallpox. Like, people would go there because it has a natural spring, and they would think the natural spring would cure them of smallpox. So it's a 40,000 square foot hotel. It was empty when they went. And Kane went in there, and he actually got pushed by a spirit. And
could you imagine pushing Kane Hodder? That spirit has some balls.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
So it pushed him, and what happened next? Did he fight it?
No, Kane is actually a very experienced ghost hunter. A lot of people don't know that about him, because he has a Hollywood ghost hunting team with Rick McCollum.
I didn't know that.
And he was actually on an episode of Ghost Adventures a while back. Kane reached out to me a couple days ago. He was telling me he was going to be talking to Jack Osborne about some ghost hunting stuff.
Yeah, Portals of Hell, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be on that show or hanging out with them. You never know with Kane.
Yeah,
he liable to take Manhattan.
He liable to what?
Take Manhattan.
Oh, of course. Absolutely.
It won't be the first time.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. Like that kid, like the kid in Jason Takes Manhattan that was like, I'm just going to box Jason. And then you got a ghost that's like, I'm just going to throw something. Or no, what was it? I'm going to hit. What happened to him again at Balsam?
Push.
I'm just going to push Kane Hodder. Yeah, just push him.
And when he got pushed, the Ovilus said push at the same time.
That's crazy. I had an Ovilus one time call my camera cheap. We were doing an investigation, and so there's this History Haunts and Legends in Are you familiar with Jefferson, Texas?
I ain't never been to Texas.
Okay. So Jefferson, Texas is one of the most haunted small towns in Texas. It's got everything. It's a bunch of saloons. It was a port town. So you had a bunch of boats coming through, and it just kind of became just dried up. And now it's just a really cool place to visit that's super haunted. And they love the history of it. It's like a place where you could see an apparition just manifest out of nowhere. It's that haunted. And there's lots of fun like legends and ghost stories. And you can stay almost everywhere you stay is haunted. It's incredible. It's one of the best ghost tours I've ever been on. So if you're ever in Jefferson, anybody watching or even, go on that ghost tour because it's incredible. So they have a History, Haunts, and Legends weekend, and they let you do ghost investigation. So what it is, it's like a day full of lectures about all sorts of paranormal stuff. For anything from like death photography to talking about angels to talking about paranormal investigation tools, abandoned places. It's really neat. So we were going on a paranormal investigation. So you hit 6 hot spots in Jefferson, and you can go in with a team. They have different paranormal teams at each one. And a few really creepy things happen in different locations. One told me I could use the bathroom. I literally ran in and said, hey, they had a spirit box going. And I walked up to the spirit box and said, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. Is it okay to go? And he goes, please do. And I was like, I now don't want to use the restroom. I'm a little freaked out now. And another one knew my ghost adventure, or not my ghost adventure, but the ghost babe that I worked with knew her real name because we don't use our real names. And she was really freaked out because she's like, I don't know how it knew my name was that. But it came through the spirit box and addressed her and wanted to be with her. So they put the spirit box directly in front of her to communicate with it. And she was completely freaked out. But it's a pretty unique and cool experience to be able to go from place to place and investigate like that.
Now, when I go differently. I only film it, and I don't go with a like a big group. I try to like keep it guerrilla. Like
this was just an event. Usually, it's me and Matilda and one camera guy.
Yeah, and I like to use, because I picked this up from Kane. I like to rig up the cameras and go in there by myself, like Kane did. Like when Kane went in to certain spots to investigate, they didn't even put a camera crew with him. They just let him film himself.
Yeah.
And we did Moundsville, which is West Virginia State Penitentiary.
Ooh.
And that would be one of the most haunted places too in America, I believe. It's in the middle of coal mining country in West Virginia. It's right across the street from this ancient 2,000-year-old Indian mound. And we got locked in there overnight, and they got this place underground where it says it's called the Sugar Shack because I guess they was getting sugar in there.
Oh.
Probably not the type of sugar you're thinking, or it could be the type of sugar you think about.
I don't know what kind of sugar am I thinking. I don't know. What kind of sugar was this? I want to know.
I think there was some violations going on in there amongst the
sugar.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, I sat in there and I saw it on some of these ghost shows, and I didn't get nothing in there. But then I went down into the cell block, and it was so funny that one of the guys that worked there, he told me, he said, there's at the end of the cell block, there's a cell where a guy named Red got killed in. And Red was the leader of the Aryan Brotherhood for the prison.
Yeah.
And he had murdered several people himself. I mean, it was a penitentiary. People get murdered in a penitentiary every day. I mean, penitentiary life was rough, especially back when that penitentiary was open. And he's like, if you don't get anything in Red's cell, ask him about Days of Our Lives, because he used to like watching Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
So I sat there and turned on the K2. I asked him some stuff. I didn't hear anything. And then I turned on the K2 meter. And I set it down because I like to set stuff down away from me and put the camera on it. That way people can't say I'm doing no hocus pocus trickery stuff.
Absolutely.
And I said, Red, if you're here, they done told me you like Days of Our Lives. I was like, is that true? I was like, can you set this thing off? And time I said that, it set it off. I was like, so you do like Days of Your Life? And it went off.
I just wanted to talk soap operas with you.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to know what you're walking into so you have more, it's like anything. You're starting a conversation. You want to know what to talk about. So that's
have you ever been somewhere? What is a haunted place? Either you've been or you want to go that you would say is so dangerous that you're not even sure you want to investigate there?
What's a place that what was it you broke up when you said that? What was it? What's a place I want to go to? What?
Like, what would be a place you'd be hesitant to go to because it's just could be so dangerous?
You mean, okay, so are we talking about part of town? Or are we talking about spirits, or what they say is the malevolence there?
Or what they say is there.
That's a hard one. I don't know. I would say one of the most malevolent places I've been is Hill House. That the spirits that haunt there, and they just went to portals of hell on there. Portals of Hell just went there. That was some of the most malevolent. You're talking about demons. I mean, I know.
Would you spend the night in the Amityville Horror House? That's never been.
Oh my God, that's my dream. I even know the address off of 112 Ocean Avenue, Amityville, Long Island, New York, 11701, because I've wanted to live there since I was like 10 years old. That's my whole inspiration for being a paranormal investigator. I was a big Amityville horrible, I guess as they call them. I love the Amityville horror, and Lorraine Warren were like my absolute inspirations at the time. And ever since I was a little kid, I was like, I want to go find ghosts. I'm actually very scared of ghost movies too, which is kind of funny. But I love to go put myself in dark rooms and see what I can find. But yeah, I 100% agree that when you're going paranormal investigating, the less people, the better, because you're not polluting your evidence. And everybody on my team has a camera in their hands. It's just me, Matilda, and John, our camera guy. He films us together, and then we film footage ourselves as well. And we make sure to, like when we use our flashlight, we sit on the ground and we stomp around it to make sure nothing sets it off. And we tap it to show you it's working and then let it preset itself before we start trying to communicate. But yeah, I agree, because you don't want anything that could potentially be tampered with. Now, Zach Bacon's Haunted Museum, I would love to spend the night there and get to paranormal investigate there, because isn't the mansion itself supposed to be haunted along with everything in there as well?
Yeah, I think the museum there is a little bit of Hollywood or Vegas showmanship.
Yeah, when you have a haunted doll with a freaking spirit box attached to it and it's loud. I mean, definitely is some showmanship there, and you have actors working in there too.
Yeah, like part of it I didn't get. I mean, I liked it, but like the circus part, I didn't really like.
I did, because I'm a sideshow performer. That was one of my favorite parts. What are our favorite paranormal haunted house movies besides Amityville?
I like Grave Encounters.
I haven't seen Grave Encounters. Was it good? Well, I mean, obviously it's good. You just said you like it. I know I'm terrible. I'm horrible. I haven't seen it.
Where do we find this lady at? She ain't watched Grave. Nah, I'm just messing with
you. Honestly, ghost movies scare me. I know it sounds ridiculous. Like I said, I am absolutely horrified of ghost movies. I have a bizarre fascination with them.
Elizabeth says she loves Ed Gein.
Oh, the Ed Gein stuff was amazing.
Yeah, Steve Shippey, he's did that Ed Gein documentary. I thought it was kind of cheesy.
Or is she talking about the Ed Gein stuff at the museum?
Oh yeah, that pot thing. Yeah. I ain't gonna admit, I'm jealous of his serial killer memorabilia collection. Zach's got some good stuff in there.
Yeah, he does. The Dybbuk box is rad too.
There's been a lot of mixed claims about that Dybbuk box. I'm the type, I gotta open it myself.
You want to open it? Would you open the Dybbuk box?
Hell yeah.
That Dybbuk box movie with the Dybbuk box. What was that movie called? Where he opened I want to check out the epicenter of it.
Isn't that where Negan opened the Dybbuk box, or Negan's daughter opened the Dybbuk box?
I like that his name is Negan. You are now officially. Hell House LLC was pretty creepy. The Possession was, yes, the Possession's the movie I'm talking about.
Patrick says, I want to check out the epicenter of Tosca. I'm not familiar with that.
Patrick, that's my friend.
I'll have to check that out.
What is that, Patrick? Text me about it. Send me info right now. That's my best friend. He's watching.
I would love
Patrick.
I would love to spend the night in the Warrens Museum.
Oh my gosh, I would love to too. I want to go. I tried to go because they do the night with Annabelle, but it's in Rhode Island, and to get there, it's just like very difficult.
Well, I'm going.
Oh, it's an unexplained explosion in the Russian forest.
Oh, that's cool.
Spontaneous combustion?
Possible.
Do you believe in spontaneous combustion?
Now I'm going in October to meet the real Annabelle doll.
That's rad. Where are you going to meet it? Where are they having it at?
Up there in Connecticut, they're having a paranormal event, kind of like the Evening with Annabelle thing. They're taking all the stuff from the Warren Museum out and letting it be displayed. The people that are that well, the Warrens have their own little team. It's called Nesper.
Yeah.
And that's who monitors and takes care of the Warren Museum. If you subscribe, which I kind of do because I've seen a lot of evidence, the Annabelle doll would be dangerous. I mean, if there's really a demon in that doll,
I would never challenge that doll.
I mean, it's just a Raggedy Ann doll, but if it's a vessel for a demon and the demon's trapped in there.
I mean, Chucky was just a good guy doll.
Chucky was a good guy doll.
We're going to write a song about Chucky being a good guy doll, meaning Annabelle just a Raggedy Ann doll.
They were just dolls.
I think it could be a punk rock song. I feel like it's totally could happen. I would love to spend the night at Lizzie Borden's house.
I've heard that that's a very active place too. Now, in North Carolina, right now, actually a couple hours less than an hour from me, we have a place called the Devil's Tromping Ground. And the Devil's Tromping Ground is a circle in the forest that nothing grows in. Now, scientists have come in and say that it's because of the soil, but the legend is that the devil, paces there at night from time to time, and that's why nothing to grow.
Is that like his vacation area?
Could be. And if you get in the circle, you get and try to fall asleep there, you either go insane, or you will get thrown out of the circle.
That's crazy.
I mean, would you spend the night if there was a place like that where it says if you sleep in this circle, you're probably gonna go insane. You could lose your mind. Would you stay at a place like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd volunteer my friend to sleep in the circle though, and then if she does well, then I'll do it the next night.
I'm your friend to the end, but if I gotta, I'm gonna put it in the circle first. Oh my goodness.
We'll be like rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. Let's do this.
You guys ever been to insane asylums? There's one out here in California that supposedly has unhappy spirits. Yeah, I was supposed to go up to Pennhurst and do that while going by and checking out a little band that was coming to America called Rammstein.
Wow.
But Rammstein decided that they want to put off their concert for 2 years in a row now. So maybe I'll go to Pennhurst when I go to Philly to Rammstein next year. But who knows? They're liable to cancel again. If they cancel again, I want a refund.
You should get a refund for sure. I happened to me with Alice Cooper. I had Alice Cooper tickets last year. They got canceled. Yeah, I want to go to Waverly Hills.
Kane was telling me about that. Has
Kane been to Waverly Hills?
Yeah. Kane's been everywhere. We ought to have paranormal talk with Kane one night.
I want to go. Yeah, can we do that? Can we get Kane in here? Can we do paranormal three-way with Kane? That sounds bad. That's not what I meant. Oh, I'm sorry. Paranormal three-way. Paranormal three-way with Kane Hodder. I'm not right.
We're going to get banned.
It's not what it sounds. We'll be like, no, our keywords just were misleading. It's not what you think it is.
Yeah. Patrick says they could be friends to the end. That's right.
That's our Raggedy Ann and our Annabelle and Chucky doll song.
Take me with you, Janie. I want to go so bad. That's what I'm talking about. The Conjuring house. I know the guy, young former Marine, bought the original Conjuring house, and they've been holding stuff up there. I've been meaning to go up there to Rhode Island to it.
Yeah. Is it the and then there's the Sally house, right? The Sally house is supposed to be really haunted. The BuzzFeed Unsolved guys went there.
I like finding like Balsam where no major TV production show.
Same. That's kind of why I like to pick the smaller places in Texas because not a lot of big major people have investigated. I mean, they're getting around to them now, but I mean, my dream locations to investigate would be like things like the Chelsea Hotel and the Cecil and places like that you really can't investigate super easy. It's so hard to gain access to a lot of the places.
I wanted to do like undercover paranormal investigations, like just go in and like back in the day when you make films, it was if you went to New York and LA, you supposed to get a permit when you got your shots and all that. So what we do is just go around and pretty much steal the shots without the permits, and that's kind of like what I think would be funny to do.
Like the Werner Herzog version of paranormal videos. Is that what we're talking about? We broke in. It's fine.
No, just like take a tour, like book a room and go into the bathroom or the lobby or somewhere at the Cecil Hotel and turn on the Ovilus and see what you get.
I mean, that's what we do essentially. Very, very rarely have we actually been like, yeah, can we get permission? We usually just show up. I mean, we did one where they asked us specifically. It felt like a Ghostbuster trip. They were like, hey, come out here and investigate our store. And we're like, okay, whatever. That sounds fun. Let's do it.
Brandon said, just don't drink the water at the Cecil Hotel.
Oh, absolutely not. I am not drinking. That is the most messed up story. I watched that whole entire Netflix series. That is the saddest thing.
And I can't, it seemed like a lot of people wanted to profiteer off that too.
Yeah. And they also wanted to make it into something it wasn't. And they wanted to point fingers and accuse everybody of being guilty. It was a lot. That was a lot.
Now, so. I would love to stay at the Sharon Tate house where Sharon Tate was.
Yeah. What about camping in Gettysburg? That's one of the most haunted places. I think that was always number one on the Travel Channel. I watched so much Travel Channel, top 10 most haunted places in America.
The problem is, because we have the Battle of the Greensboro Courthouse, I think is what it's called down here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Because being in North Carolina, we have a lot of Civil War battles that took place.
Yeah.
And all of them are haunted as crap. So, I mean, when we talk about America's most haunted locations, I would say almost any major Civil War battle space would be haunted. And even we have a haunted attraction in Greensboro, North Carolina that is actually haunted. And when I dug into it, because you're like, oh, a haunted attraction that's haunted. It was a family farm, and we suspect the soldiers coming in to and from that battle because it was 1,000 to 2,000, I think it was, soldiers that went missing during the battle and they deserted, and a lot of them got killed off the battlefield.
No, really?
Yep. Daniel said, "What's up? What's up, Daniel?" Yeah, we need to do the seance with the painting.
Yeah, I want that to happen. Are we going to do that in Carolina? Is that happening?
We might need to do that. We might do it at the expo.
I think I missed this. I was looking at the last episode that we did, and I think it was Daniel asked if I'd ever been to a seance, or either of us. Have you ever been to a seance, Sergeant?
I have. You talking like a seance with a medium?
Yeah, like a seance with a medium where you have a group of people and you're in a circle and you have a seance.
Now, I've done a little investigating stuff, but I ain't never been to no typically if a person tells me they can talk to the dead,
you don't believe in mediums, is what you're saying.
I ain't saying I don't believe, but if you run to a snake and you get bit, you can't be like, I'm mad at the snake. So if you hang out with people that talk to the dead and the dead show up and mess with you, you can't be mad.
No, I see what you're saying. So I went to a place in one of my favorite haunted locations. It's beautiful. Is a place in Eureka Springs called the Crescent Hotel. It was where I don't remember the exact history of it, but a guy who had a lot of money, he used to actually have a radio station too. He bought it and pretended to have a cure for cancer and had it as a cancer ward. And a lot of people died because he didn't have the cure for cancer. He was giving them watermelon seed and carbolic acid. So the third floor is actually something referred to as the pain ward. And literally, like, if you're sensitive to like any type of like feelings or energy, like you'll just start bursting into tears. Like you just get this like overwhelming sadness just that wipes over you when you go. This place is very open to their paranormal. And so they have something called ESP weekend every year. It's like 2 weekends in January, and they bring in everything. They bring in big guest paranormal investigators to talk to you about, you know, techniques and skills and the art of paranormal investigating and to give you advice. They open up the most haunted rooms and let you investigate them. And it's a lot of fun. But where was I going with this? They had a seance. They also did the shoot. It's the one where you go up in the attic and they put you in the darkness and it's just a mirror by candlelight. Necromantium maybe is what it's called. Because they believe mirrors are portals, which I actually believe mirrors are portals. So I actually avoid mirrors. They scare me. I don't believe in Bloody Mary, but I still have weird things about mirrors. Mirrors freak me out. What were you saying? Sorry.
Did you look in Bela Lugosi's mirror?
I did not look in Bela Lugosi's mirror. That's another one.
At Zach's place, you didn't?
I did not. I looked at it, but I did not stand and look in it. I looked into the eyes of the skeleton. But so I did a seance while I was at the Crescent Hotel and I fell asleep in the middle of the seance. I was so tired. It was like at 11:30 or it was at midnight, I think. And I just fell asleep in the middle of the seance. They had to wake me up.
Now, England says North Carolina is infamously haunted because of the Civil War. I agree with you. Mm-hmm. England is one of our very talented North Carolina filmmakers. She did a crazy short film called Fat Henry. Check it out. It's on Amazon.
I can watch it on Amazon? Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. It's one of them. I don't like short films, to be honest with you, but this one's kind of crazy.
You don't like short films?
Nah, it's too short.
I love short films, especially really well done that are the well done ones. I'm a big anthology person. I love anthologies.
Anthology's different, but when I sit down, I'm a big old boy. I want the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
I get you. I feel like shorts serve a purpose. So I have this weird theory that I think like between 88 to 93 minutes is the perfect runtime for a horror film, especially like a slasher one. I feel like anything's too long sometimes. What was it? Didn't Ghost Adventures do the Crescent Hotel? Yes, they did. They did.
And Daniel says, that's absolutely awesome, Janie.
Norman Baker. Thank you. It was Norman Baker is the Crescent Hotel swindler.
Oh, England said it. Thank you. It's on Tubi as well.
I will check it out.
I might have to get you on here with us, England.
Yeah.
It's North Carolina. The other thing I can't even believe I ain't mentioned this for now is we got all that Blackbeard stuff going on the Outer Banks.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because Blackbeard shipwreck or something like that's out there.
So is Blackbeard haunting?
That's what people say. I ain't never personally went out there because
pirate ghosts.
Then we got the Dismal Swamp, and then we have that whole rigmarole with the Croatan, the Lost Colony is in North Carolina.
Oh, the Crow, yeah, it is. We have the Alamo. The Alamo is super haunted.
I remember the Alamo.
I hope you remember the Alamo. So right next to the Alamo is a hotel called the Manger, and it's one of the most haunted hotels in Texas. And they believe that you can see Teddy Roosevelt in the bar discussing battle plans in late hours of the night.
Why is it? Because like people blow me up all the time, talking about some come and help looking for my ghost, and I don't know why the hell ain't no ghost really gonna talk to me all the time. But anyway, it's always somebody famous. It's always the famous haunting. They ain't never say, we got Joe Blow, the guy that used to work at the cotton mill for 30 years, came back and he want to talk to y'all.
People want to talk to celebrities. They want to talk to the dead ghost of Elvis or River Phoenix.
Elvis is not dead. He's just left the building.
He is just in a rest home somewhere in East Texas fighting a mummy. That's where Elvis is with, JFK.
And the thing about it is too, it's always somebody like super dude. It's never, ever just like I said. Well, sometimes it's like a prostitute or she worked at a brothel and she was killed here. But it's always like somebody called me up and they're like, we got presidents on. The president from back in the day is not haunting your place. I can guarantee you that. He is not. It's not him. Somebody lying to you.
Whatever. Marilyn Monroe haunts my apartment.
Marilyn Monroe could come and haunt me. Her and Anna Nicole Smith come holler at your boy.
Oh my gosh. If you were to die and you wanted to be, would you want to be somebody try to communicate with you? And if so, what would be your favorite method of communication? Like, what would be your preferred afterlife method of communication? How would you want to be reached?
I want to be like those people in American Horror Story Season 1 Murder House. I will be able to kill people.
Are you going to be in like latex?
A what?
The latex suit? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I ain't going to be in no latex suit. I ain't no gimp.
I just can't imagine filming those scenes.
I'd
latex. Like, that is intense.
Nah, I did the big old Michael Myers kitchen butcher knife and go hit somebody in the head or the neck with it and get some blood spurt. But, I mean, that's how I'd want to communicate is like, I'd want to haunt some place and it'd be the place where it's like, if you spend the night there, you're probably going to die. And then when people spend the night there, I'd come in and kill them as a spirit. Now, I ain't killing nobody right now. I do get messages, people like, oh, Sergeant Horror, you kill anybody today? I'm like, no, not today.
Not today?
Like, I don't know what they think. I wake up.
When you wake up in the morning, eat your Wheaties, and you go killing. You got a killing spree. You're like, I create the ghosts.
I create the ghosts. That's a good line for a movie.
You could be the creator of all the hauntings. Oh, look, you got kudos on your Alamo joke.
That's what I'm talking about. It says, do you think horror films cast spells every time they get played? Daniel, you done watch that whole American Horror Stories Rabbit, which wasn't that good.
Do you believe in cursed horror films? Like there was that movie that came out, Antrum or whatever. The whole idea of like the rabbit concept for American Horror Stories. It makes you go crazy by watching it.
I mean,
Do you believe that movies could be that powerful?
I've watched some horror movies that were that bad that made me want to kick the trash can over or go out and slap the director.
There's some really bad horror movies out there.
Especially like that's why I think I owe 4 or 5 slaps to that Eli Roth fella.
Oh, what did he do? What'd you watch?
Cabin Fever.
I like Cabin Fever.
The very, very first one where Eli's in it as the stoner with his dog.
I like it because I like how it turns people. They were all friends in the beginning, and then one person gets sick and they all turn on each other. It exposes how ugly people can be.
If you're going to be Quentin Tarantino's boy, you got to come better with that.
It was his first. Like, it was one of his first movies.
Even the remake wasn't even good. He couldn't even get this.
I don't even bother watching I didn't even watch it. I didn't watch part 2 either because they totally butchered that. Good choice, Daniel. Sorry.
Patrick says, I think M. Night Shyamalan has cursed all his current works. M. Night Shyamalan or I can't pronounce his name. I'm just
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night.
I hate all his movies.
You laughing. M. Night is one of those filmmakers. He's going to either have a hit or it's going to suck.
Are you going to go see his new movie?
Huh?
Are you gonna go see Old?
I ain't giving Hollywood no more damn money. I ain't going to theater, sitting there with all them people.
I don't like any of his movies. I actually participated in that campaign like 10 years ago. It was like send M. Night Shyamalan back to film school. Because he ruined M. Night Shyamalan. It was a joke. Somebody made a website that was called Send M. Night Shyamalan Back to Film School, and they were taking donations, and I sent them like $5. It was after I saw Avatar: The Last Airbender. I was like, what did you do? It was like easy. It was already there. He totally just butchered it. Sorry.
He did good on The Visit.
Old people scare me.
You know, and Old looks like it could be promising, but
it's just obsessed with the twist.
The twists are always hard to pull off. I was a producer on a movie one time, and they had this huge twist, and I told them, I was like, y'all ain't gonna never pull this twist off, because there's no way to pull certain twists off, because there's rules to the game. There's always rules to the game. You got to have a certain amount of foreshadowing. The movie's got to have a clear beginning, middle, and end. I mean, there's rules. I mean, you can make something that doesn't have beginning, middle, or end. You can break the rules, but when you're doing like a studio level picture, you got to follow some rules. And I ended up resigning off of it because twist can ruin a movie. I mean, look at half of M. Night Shyamalan stuff.
I also don't like when they explain everything. That was one of my biggest issues with Rabbit, which I don't want to be spoilers, but when somebody explains, like, obviously we knew why that person was doing the thing they did. I didn't need the monologue, the very long monologue. It's like, this is why I'm doing, this is my grandmaster scheme, and blah, 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 and blah, ha, 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 I'm the evil bad villain. I don't like that. Like, I feel like that's storytelling.
Him to be like laser beams, like how he was gonna say with laser beams sometimes during that monologue.
And sharks.
Mm-hmm.
Or an alligator.
Elizabeth said, great movie, and said, we're supposed to be talking about haunted stuff, and here we are talking. I love it.
It's all right. It's okay. We can go a little off track.
I'm playing Resident Evil 2 while watching. That's what I'm talking about.
Good choice. That's a good one.
So you play video games, Janie?
Every once in a while. I'm more of an arcade girl. I like the traditional arcades. But I do have a PS4. You saw I have a Ninja Turtle arcade in my apartment. I love playing Ninja Turtles. But yeah, I'm an arcade person. I like Jurassic Park arcades, and yeah.
The one you sit in and shoot up the dinosaurs?
Yeah, it looks like the little Jeep. That's my favorite.
I like the old school Terminator one where you sit in there and shoot up the Terminator people.
Yeah, that one's good too. Yeah. I like all the Evil Dead. I had a PS2 I have a PS4 now, but I had a PS2 for the longest time because I had every single Evil Dead video game for PlayStation.
Do you play the Friday the 13th video game?
I never played the Friday the 13th. Is it good? I've never played it.
I tried it. It's just too damn hard. Jason just kept trying to get me. Like, I was just like...
Do fight as Jason and Leatherface in Mortal Kombat.
I've done that.
Pretty Lady Leatherface is my favorite.
I like Leatherface.
He's a chainsaw. You can spend the night at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house.
But it ain't haunted, but I do it.
No, but it's still cool. It's iconic. You can't tell me that would not be freaky sleeping in that house after seeing the movie.
Daniel says, what do you think about the Skinwalker spirit? With that Skinwalker ranch that they've been talking about? Have you kept up with the Skinwalker ranch?
I know a little bit about it, but I haven't really kept up with it.
I know they made a long-ass show over that thing.
Very long. I started watching it, and I couldn't get through it all.
Me too. I was like, y'all need to go ahead and spit it out. It was too much building it up and riding in helicopters and, you know.
I'm a to-the-point kind of person.
If you own a helicopter, you can probably catch whatever's at that ranch.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to go to Jerome in Arizona. Jerome, Arizona. It's a ghost town. I also love ghost towns, and it's haunted. Area 51 was good, too.
Ryan says, my brothers and cousin played the hell out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade at once.
It's fun. I have TMNT and TMNT Turtles in Time.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they are all right. They are all right. Mm-hmm. So we've been at this thing for about a minute. Did want to ask you,
Yes.
let's go back to the haunted subject for a minute.
Yes, absolutely.
Besides the Amityville Horror House, which you said that was your dream, what would be your second choice of where you would spend the night at?
Oh man, I would love to stay at the Viper Room, but also the Myrtle's Plantation.
Myrtle's Plantation is a good one.
I've heard it's great. I haven't been there yet, but that's definitely one on the top of my list.
I would like to get locked in to the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum by myself.
I guess the best question would be which location that's not accessible, that you do not have access to. Because I mean, the Myrtle's Plantation I have access to, that you would stay the night at, right? Can you access that location, or is it one that you'd have to break into?
I think
can you rent
it? You have to rent it, because a lot of these places now are pay for play. If you pay them enough money, you can do an investigation there, because they're trying to cash in on the popularity of the paranormal shows.
Yeah, I think the Baker Hotel was $30,000 and $1 million worth of insurance or something like that, if I remember correctly.
Daniel says the Exorcist house.
Ooh.
Now, for me, I would love to do the Amityville Horror House. Actually, I'd love to buy it and live in it.
Same, heart, same. Definitely. Like I said, I know the address. That's how much I'm dedicated to it.
But if you said, hey, I had to pick a place that wasn't that isn't accessible, mm-hmm. I would have to pick the Pentagon or the White House. One of those.
The White House is super haunted. I hear. I haven't been there.
I worked at the Pentagon for a little while back in my active duty days, and
that's awesome.
There's some spooky shit going on around there at night. I used to work the night shift, and I'd wander around and walk the hallways for exercise.
Did you get weird energy? Did you pick up weird, anything, cold spots or orbs or anything?
I mean, it just felt weird. It was it's hard to describe it. Mm-hmm. And then especially after 9/11 working in there, it felt real heavy and weird.
You could just become the president. So then you could check out the White House.
No, I don't want to be a president. $250,000 a year for that job? Hell no.
It's not worth it.
Missouri State Penitentiary. I like investigating prisons.
What about the woods that the Jersey Devil haunts? What are those called? They're really dangerous. The woods are dangerous.
Would you spend the night in the Japanese suicide forest?
Yes. I would. But it would take me a lot to get out there. But I think I'm very curious. That's the hard part. My curiosity always gets the best of me. I would feel like if I didn't do it and I had the opportunity to do it, it'd be a missed opportunity. But also out of respect, I probably would say no.
Well, I think if you go to a place where somebody is murdered, then there's I owe them some respect. But if somebody killed themselves, that's a choice. I feel like it's okay to investigate it openly.
Yeah.
I don't know
if I would investigate. I would spend the night.
I'd have the Oculus on and see what they got to be like. What y'all?
But maybe not record it.
Maybe what?
Maybe not record it though.
Not like, what was it, Jake Paul or one of them guys recorded a dead.
That was in poor taste and sad.
Yeah, it was. Brandon said, I always wondered what the current owners of the Amityville Horror House or the Amityville House would have to say about any experiences. I've heard people say people that end up buying it in the neighborhood there hate its fame and try to downplay it.
They changed the windows.
Yep, they changed the windows, but there has to be some type of energy there. There's a lot of history to that land, even before DeFeo murdered his family there. And anytime you have something that violent that takes place, I think that there's at least at a minimum some trace negative energy there that would stay.
Yeah.
Daniel says, imagine doing a seance in the middle of the Pentagon. I don't know about now, but back in 2001, 2002, 2003, the center of the Pentagon is actually like this little circle building, and it's a concession stand that sells some good breakfast sandwiches and stuff.
You do a seance with breakfast.
Seance with breakfast. Anyway, we're going to have to run. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Help us spread the word about the channel. If you aren't liking it and subscribing, please like the video and subscribe. Leave us a comment and tag somebody that you think should be watching these videos. If you got a topic you'd like to see me and Janie Slash talk about, drop it in the comments and let us know. Hey, y'all, I want to see y'all do a video on this, do a live on this. Always open to hear some feedback from you guys and appreciate it. Any last words for you, Janie?
No, just everybody have a good week. If you see a spirit, let us know. Tell them we said hi.
Tell them we said hi. Y'all guys take care. Sergeant Har for Mad Monster. We're out.
Thank you guys. Have a good week.
You too.